Hello, brothers. The following conversation was taken June the 10th, 2017. It's a conversation between me and BGS IBMOR. He produces great content. Go ahead and check him out. You can find him on YouTube at BGS IBMOR and also on his new channel, BGS Reborn. What up, BGS?
Hey, what's going on,
Nothing much,
Universe?
man. I'm still tight about Game 4 last night. That was some bullshit.
Why?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the very first quarter,
Mhm.
all those damn fouls being called, really? 22 free throws in the first quarter, really?
Yeah.
Come on now.
You're not used to playoff basketball, huh?
No, I'm watching playoff basketball every single year, but they don't. The last time that many fouls was called was Game 6 in 2002 Western Conference Finals. In one quarter?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It depends on what they. A lot of it depends on what they did last game. Number one, number two, if you're gonna close out a team, if you're gonna sweep a team, they're gonna make it difficult for you.
Yeah. And the Cavs was hitting every damn thing.
Well, they were, like I said, they hit 20. If you hit, I think it hit 24 3-pointers.
24, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna lose anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So what the refs did doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
They scored 100. They scored 100 and what? 38 points. 130 was it? 100.
It was like 130. I think it was like 137 or something.
Yeah. See that the record is 141, which was the Memorial Day massacre back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So they damn near broke that record.
Yeah.
So they were, they made it easy on the ref. In fact, well, hell, Golden State got their Golden State got away with a lot because two of their players should have been kicked out anyway. Because they know damn well. Was Jaja Pachula for punching what's his name?
That's one. That's one. Who's the other one?
And then Green, man. They know that everybody the official scorer had Green as having his first technical foul.
I agree. I don't like that second one. I don't think that's a tech though. Like he was just waving his hand.
That is a technical foul.
No, they stopped doing that after they tried that for a couple of years.
But a ref can call it technical because he had been barking, man, the whole game long.
Yeah, he does. I don't know why he does that so goddamn. That bugs the shit out of me.
He should have. He should have. He should have got ejected for elbowing homeboy in the face. He should have got elbow. He should have got kicked out for that one. That was a flagrant too. He should have got booted for that. So basically.
I mean, one could say I would agree that's a flagrant. I don't agree that's a flagrant too, because it wasn't like he was facing him and he swung and hit his face or something.
You play basketball?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. That's a flagrant too. Forearm in somebody's face like that's a flagrant too. You got your peripheral vision is way too good not to see somebody behind you. That's how come he extended his arm back. He knew the dude was there. It's a flagrant too. They let him get away with it because he should have been booted out. Because whatever's on that official sheet, because the referees go over the official sheet at halftime to say that there was a wrong technical on the wrong guy is bullshit.
Well, what they had to say about that, I think the lead official of the league said that they do it, but they don't have to do it. I think that's what SportsCenter said.
That's bullshit.
So.
That's both two technicals at any level of basketball. You're booted. You only get is two, and everybody knows everybody. Everybody, including especially the referees, look at the school because at halftime they have to rectify the scores, who scored what, fouls, and everything has to be rectified at halftime before you go into that's in league basketball. Because I've scored even in park league basketball, the referees always come over and check the sheet, see who's got fouls, who's got techs, how many points each have, because they check it because because referees balance out free throws because they'll look at the sheet and says, okay, we called too many fouls in the first half. So we got too many fouls going on, so we're gonna have to let them play a little bit in the second half. They looked at that sheet to say that you didn't know that Green had a technical foul is bullshit, man. But they let him get away with a lot. So Golden State doesn't have anything to complain about. That's how come they didn't complain. They know they got away with a whole lot of shit.
Well, they did. Well, they did get a lot of free. They actually got more free throws than the Cavs by the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that first quarter was the officiating all game was terrible both ways because that backcourt with Kyrie, that was obvious. I don't know what the fuck the ref was looking at.
They let him play. Okay, they let him play. So the thing is, I looked at it and said, okay, a closeout game was always a scrum. Okay, yeah. It's always a scrum. If you're gonna sweep a team, you're gonna have to fight tooth and nail, unless the other team lays down and rolls over. So I didn't expect anything less. I said, how much playoff basketball do you watch, man? Because it's hard for you to sweep a team. That's how come it's difficult. So and give well,
the sweeps this year haven't been hard, to be honest.
See what?
I said the sweeps this year that's been happening in the playoffs, they haven't been. The opposing team haven't been putting up much of a fight
because the league is unbalanced.
Is that a bad thing for the league?
Yes, especially since you passed all these rules to balance out the small market teams. You're not supposed to have any super teams because you basically destroyed the Lakers because you wanted to have a balance. That's how it keeps coming back up. Because the small market teams rebel. That's how come they blew up that Chris Paul trade.
Yeah, but I would argue that there's always been super teams. It's just the players didn't do it by themselves.
They passed rules against having super teams because the small market teams rebelled. That's how come they went on strike in the first place. And so for you to have two super teams again, that means you screwed up. In other words, you destroyed a franchise for years, so that you get rules passed to prevent super teams, and you have even a bigger super team, which is in Golden State. And Golden State's got plenty of Silicon Valley money to keep a super team around for a long, long time. In fact, half of those, if they wanted $1 billion, they could just have a fundraiser amongst all those Silicon Valley guys, and they could raise $1 billion easy and never even sweat it.
Well, Kevin Durant's already come out and said he's willing to take a $40 million a year cut just so they can keep Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston. So and I've talked about this in my video, like if guys are not thinking with their ego, I think super teams are inevitable once they become free agents. Like if guys just say, screw it, I just want to win a ring and I'm willing to take a cut, then I'm going to go and join whoever. And I don't care. I don't care who clowns me because, to be quite frank, 10 or 20 years, people are going to get over it. They're not going to remember.
The thing is, the only thing that screwed up Stern and Silver, and in fact, Silver went to great lengths last year to prevent what happened. Golden State is just a fait accompli. Golden State is gonna to keep that team together. It's gonna cost them like $500 million just to keep that team together for the next couple of years.
And they'll pay the luxury tax. They'll do it happily if they're winning championships or they're contending for championships.
That's why I know Silicon Valley has a ton of money,
right?
And they will do it because Golden State has been before this team won up in San Francisco, up in Oakland or Golden State. The last team was Rick Barry in '75. So they had waited a long, long time. So there's too much money there.
Right. Do you and they talking about? I don't know how much you know about the CBA. I don't know much about the CBA that happened last year, but they were saying like the CBA agreement last season was the reason why Kevin Durant and the salary cap, I guess, was the reason why he was able to go.
They brought in way more money than projected. That's why. In other words, the cap, there's a certain percentage the players have to get.
Right.
And they grossly underestimated the amount of money that the TV contracts were going to bring in. So when it popped up, the league revenues came in, found out that they were grossly underpaying the players' portion. So they had to boost up a whole bunch of players' money that allowed Kevin Durant to go. Otherwise, he couldn't have gone.
I also think everyone expected him to think with his ego and not go to the team that that beat him in the Western Conference Finals. I think that
Nah.
threw everyone for a loop.
Well, he didn't like playing with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, who would? Who would like to play with him?
It depends. I think James Harden would love to play with him.
James, no way, because those are two ball dominant guards.
They like playing with each other.
Back when James Harden was a sixth man, he was coming off the bench. Yes,
they're two LA guys. They like playing with each other.
I don't see how that working because both of them need 30 shots a game. I don't now as Harden as his own MVP caliber player. I don't know.
They're like I say, they grew up playing with each other. They like each other.
Okay.
They're two LA guys. They fit fine. The only reason Harden left is because they didn't want to pay him.
What was it, $4 million total? The owners were being cheap.
Well, because it's a small market team. It's Oklahoma. And they knew what they would have to pay him, and they didn't want to pay. You know, I don't know how close they were to the luxury tax, but they gambled, and they, you know, LA would have never done that. You don't trade a winning hand. You don't throw it in for pieces.
But to be fair to the owner, that Harden wasn't an MVP caliber player when he was coming off the bench. He was decent, but he was inconsistent.
Everybody knew Harden was a stud. I knew Harden was a stud when he was at Arizona State. That's why they drafted him. They knew he's a stud. He's a stud. You just went to you just had these three guys just brought you to a championship. You lost to a good I think it was a Miami team. Yep. Yeah, you lost to a good yeah. Why would you throw away a team that just went to the finals?
Because the owner was being cheap. He didn't want to pay the $4 million to keep Harden.
Yeah, exactly.
$4 million total, not $4 million a year. $4 million total.
Yeah. Stupid. And I said,
they decided to keep Ibaka over Harden.
That's stupid. That's like trading Kobe Bryant when he's up for renegotiation. No, they kept him. You keep him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. LA would never do that. No way.
LA would have never done that. It was a mistake, and they suffered for it. They haven't been back since. That's another reason that Durant left.
Do you think, because there's been a lot of speculation about LeBron either going to the Clippers or to the Lakers after next season? What do you think about that?
I just can't see LeBron leaving Cleveland again. I just can't. Because he's 14 years in. How many more years is he going to play?
I don't know, man. Like, he hasn't had a major injury in his entire career. The dude is like Superman. But I think when he does come, I think his performance is going to fall off a cliff. It won't be a steady decline. Like Kobe, he was doing good, and then he got injury after season injury after season injury. Mm-hmm. It just fell off a cliff, and I think that'll happen to LeBron.
Once Kobe's his Achilles went, that's a death signal for That's a death signal for a basketball player. I've never seen anybody tear his Achilles and come back. And plus, the major thing was his Achilles, but the major thing about his shooting was his shoulder. His shoulder is gone, but they never talked about that. He admitted that. In fact, I got in trouble because I tweeted that out. He announced it, and I tweeted that. I kind of put it out on a tweet that they knew his shoulder was gone, and they played him anyway. And that's because everybody's one that said it's what if you can't move or play defense, that's one thing, but it's one thing that a basketball player never loses is his shot, unless there's something wrong with his hands or his shoulder.
Right.
Because you don't have to, if you've been shooting for 20 years, you can shoot in a rocking chair. So if your shot is off, that means something wrong. So there's something wrong with your shoulder or your hands. And normally it's the shoulder. And it was his shoulder's gone. That's like when he had to retire. He couldn't shoot anymore. He literally could not shoot anymore.
Right.
MGTOW.